So we're going to slow the truck down to consider death and dying. I just recently posted the invite to our next TED Talk, which is going to be Wednesday, May 27th at Lakewood Memorial Library, 5:30 to 7, and you can check out the other post. But it has me, of course, thinking about death and dying, and I just recently had this deep conversation with my 8th graders. As part of our art history lessons, I read about artists and show my kids the work. And the final one for the 8th graders is really heavy. And I preview it. I preface it before I show them the work because it is hard to look at and they don't understand it. And I used to be offended by the comments that they would say when I did present it. So the artwork, which you'll have to go and check out yourself, the title is Woman with Dead Child by the German artist Käthe Kollwitz. And it is this woman, it looks like a chalk drawing or a graphite drawing, but it's really an etching. And it's this woman who is just absolutely engulfed her son in her arms. I could get emotional just talking about it. But I tell my students all great art elicit emotion. And this one, I have a hard time not breaking down and crying when I read about it and present it. Because when I would just show it to them at first, I would always get a comment of like, inevitably, I would have a student who would go like, it looks like, like, what is it? It looks like a gorilla. And then the other students might start laughing at it. And then I would get really just offended by that. Like, how can you take such a heavy, tragic subject matter and then start sort of mocking it? It felt like they were mocking it. But over the years, this is what I've come to understand. And I tell them this. I tell them that, for one, you are learning so many things, and here at school we are saying that we're preparing you for the real world, but we really are not preparing you for the real world. This is just sort of a test practice, and at school it's all about let's cram you with information and let's make sure it's entertaining, and we keep you safe and try to make it enjoyable and fun, and we want these to be the best memories of your lives. We don't talk about the heavy things, and this is a heavy topic. So I understand that, for one, it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with them and present them with subject matter that they're not used to speaking about, all right? They're not used to being vulnerable, especially among their own classmates. So right away, I feel like they are trying to bring back some levity, some humor, to take something that feels too heavy and uncomfortable to sit with and crack a joke at its expense. Now, the other thing that I've recognized now is that it is ape-like, gorilla-like, because this it's sort of abstract if you look at it, but she's very muscular. It sort of feels roughly drawn, but it feels very primitive. And that was the connection that I also made. And this is where I bring the kids into this conversation of death and dying, of a mother who has lost her son. Her son is dead. And I tell them I connect it with meditation and our breath awareness practice and the miracle of their births. And I reiterate, every single one of us is a miracle to be alive, a miracle to be born, and that we should cherish the gift of our breath. It's evidence that we have been brought into this world out of nowhere, really. I mean, we can start to talk about biology and get into the science side of it, but come on, you guys. Most of you watching this, you're not scientists. You didn't go off to higher education to learn about biology. And then, even if you did, there's no separation between science and the spiritual. They are so interwoven. If you really break it down, it is a freaking spiritual miracle. And I do believe we come from somewhere loving, and we have this experience of a human being. And then we go back to something loving, and we're spirit having this human experience. And I connect it all and into this moment, this idea that women are powerful. No wonder men are freaking afraid of us. We are portals. We're literally portals, bringing something from beyond through our bodies. Except not me, of course. I chose not to. But I'm still amazed at the miracle of bringing a human being through our bodies to gift to the world, and hope we present this gift that is going to benefit all of humanity and all our relatives that are plants, animals, elements, all of it. It's amazing. And to have a life taken that has come through your body that woman would be ape-like. She would be gorilla-like. She would be a primate. She would go back into being a wild animal. And I share with them, I will never lose my own child, but the animals that come into my life, they are my family. They are my relatives. And when they die, I tell them how I go somewhere alone, and I don't want anybody around to hear me. You wouldn't want to hear me because it comes from such a deep place, this literal howl that just is in my belly, and it comes through. And I think it's got to be the most mournful sound anybody could possibly hear me make, is to absolutely howl that sorrow. So, connecting the two. I now understand what the children are seeing when I present them this work, which is why I talk about it before I just show it to them. Because I tell them, do not mock it, just sit with it. Sit with the discomfort of what this mother went through to lose her child. Now, where I really break down is when I'm reading to them that as Quetzalcoatl is doing the self-portrait with her own son, Peter, who's at the age of 7 for this self-portrait, how it's uncomfortable for her, how she's in pain, how she kind of moans out in pain, but her son tells her, don't worry, mother, it will be beautiful. And then he ends up being killed in a plane crash in World War I. And that's when I start to break down, as I tell these kids, this is as if she has captured what's going to happen in the future. That it's like a prediction that she has just drawn what she's going to experience in the future. She birthed this being, and then she had to say goodbye, which is it's not what we're brought up believing is the natural order of things. You know, we are expecting our great-grandparents and our grandparents to die, and then after our grandparents, our own parents, and then we're supposed to die before our children, and that's the natural order of it that we're brought up believing. And when it doesn't go in that order, it just throws everything off. But if we can cherish our gift as of the breath, as evidence that we are alive, that we came from somewhere loving, as spirit, and now we're having this human experience, even grief, even all of these traumatic experiences that we're going to have are part of the human experience. And then someday we're going to take that final exhale and we're going to go back to somewhere loving. We're going to leave this shell behind, and I don't know, I tend to think some of us will choose to come right back around, but I don't know. I've kind of encapsulated my art class where I am afforded the absolute honor and ability to be able to not only teach art in just some sort of isolated way, but to connect it to the beauty of our lives, and that it's temporary, and that there's death, that there's a whole range of emotion, and how do we navigate it. I hope I'm doing them a good service. I hope I haven't left you kind of depressed, but check out Quetzalcoatl's Woman with Dead Child, and sit with maybe the discomfort that it embodies, but also know that, you know, the miracle of birth, of giving birth. And I don't know, ladies, we're magic, we're portals, and I think that is something you really need to start appreciating. And until my next post, Esconge, I'll see you again.